Hi guys, and welcome to Battle of the Bosses Salford edition. This is a different one to what we normally do. We normally just do one season, but this one we're doing 5 seasons or until both of us are sacked, whichever happens first. And this is part 3, so this is the end of season 1, and we're going to see how we're done, and we're going to tally up the points at the end of the video. If you haven't already seen it, go and check out how Tuner's done down below as well. Go and see how on his side where he's done, what players he's got, and everything like that. If you haven't already seen them, video 1 and video 2 was up Monday and Wednesday on both our channels, both our sides as well, so go and check them out as well. And let's get into it. I'm Elmo.
Tuna.
I always forget the introduction. As you can see, the finances have been quite poor. I did reach minus 1.36 million. I think my profits was like very, very low at one point. I thought it was lower than that. I'm sure it said it was lower than that at some point. But thanks to Mr. Peter Lim, he has put a 3.2 million investment in there to get me back in the green. So competitions wise, we kind of know that wasn't in any other competitions. Got knocked out of them all before the second half, and I'm not going to take you there yet. We're going to have a look what's happened around the world, around the UK. So the FA Cup was won by
Wow.
Newcastle. A Newcastle Leeds final in the FA Cup, and Newcastle smashed them 4-1. I'm
The
interested to
beauty
see
of the
what
FA Cup.
I'm interested to see what players they've got. They haven't really brought any players in.
Isaac up top, obviously an inspired signing.
Interesting, but yeah, they so Newcastle winning the FA Cup against Leeds. West Ham and Tottenham going out in the semi-final, so still none of the top 6 there. Man United going out on penalties to Newcastle. Man City getting knocked out by Tottenham in extra time. Chelsea getting knocked out by Leeds. Still no Liverpool or Arsenal. Liverpool getting knocked out by Leeds in penalties.
Leeds had one hell of a run, didn't they?
Just a bit. Carabao Cup was won by Man United, a Man United Liverpool final. Man United knocking out Chelsea, Liverpool knocking out Bournemouth. Chelsea knocking out Portsmouth, Man United just winning Man City on penalties. Bournemouth knocking out Southampton, Liverpool knocking out West Brom. Don't care about Community Shield. And the Papa John's Trophy, Wigan beating Tottenham Hotspur under 23s 3-1, scoring 2 in extra time. So the semi-final, Wigan beat Ipswich and Tottenham under 23s beat Wednesday. We'll love to see Wednesday not doing very well. And the quarterfinals, Wigan beating Gillingham, Tottenham under 23s beating Southampton under 23s, Wednesday beating Liverpool under 23s, and Ipswich beating Lincoln. So we'll go to the Premier League. And Man City romped away 8 points clear, with Man United finishing in second place, Liverpool third, and Arsenal fourth. So it was very close, second, third, and fourth, but Man City just romped away with it.
City had just gone. They
Yeah.
did what City do so often.
24 wins, 9 draws, only 5 losses. Man United actually getting a better goal difference than them, though.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Chelsea and Tottenham getting European places. Tottenham actually getting Europa League, not Conference, which Everton getting the Conference League spot. And Southampton, Norwich, and Watford getting relegated.
So it was that
Interesting.
England have 9 teams in Europe next season,
Hmm.
which I imagine you're going to look at it at some point anyway. But I can only assume that Leicester must have won the Champions League, the Europa League. Sorry,
If we have a look at Champions League, I can't spell Champions League.
Champions League. Obviously, Newcastle winning the FA Cup get their place.
So Man United winning that, which obviously
Yeah.
gave an extra space. They won against PSG. Just have a quick look at semi. PSG knocking out Man City on penalties, and Man United knocking out Dortmund on penalties. Wow.
All penalties.
Yeah. Europa League. So
Wow.
Leicester winning Atletico 1-0.
So yeah, that's how they got the Champions League place then.
Villarreal knocking out Villarreal and RB Leipzig. And then in the Conference League, Tottenham winning. So
That
across
explains,
the board.
yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, all English winners.
Tottenham
And then
beating Galatasaray and okay.
I mean, let's be honest, Tottenham should be winning that competition.
Well, it depends if you want to pretend that you haven't got enough players to play a game and then you
Yeah,
just
that's true.
get kicked out. So yeah, very good for English football in terms of Europe and that. It'll
Yeah,
be
and obviously,
interesting to see because obviously we are playing it, so it'll be interesting to see how England do in the next season of Europe with us having so many teams in there.
yeah, you'd imagine 9 teams across 3 competitions. You should be looking at 3 winners, hopefully again next season.
At least three
Yeah,
to 5 finalists. Going down is Southampton, Norwich, and Watford, as I've said, and Sky Bet Championship. Sheffield United, 99 points, going up as champions, with Fulham and Bournemouth. Going down is Barnsley, Nottingham Forest, and Derby just really struggled to get the points deficit. Obviously, they was deducted 21
yeah.
points, and they really struggled, only getting 17 points.
Even without the
clear.
deduction, they'd still be bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. So, not great for them. So, they are in League One next season. We have a look at League One. So, Portsmouth are going up, Charlton and Ipswich going up with them as well. And Gillingham, Fleetwood, Doncaster, and Cambridge all going down. Which takes us into the League of the Hour, where we go up as champions. 8 points clear at the top of Swindon. But Swindon, Forest Green coming up as automatic promotion, and Colchester going up as playoff winners, with Sutton and Harrogate going down. So we did win it, the game before the last game of the season. On the last day of the season, we beat Stevenage 5-2. But we had already won it when we beat Mansfield 3-0. So we just needed 1 point the game before Mansfield, and we lost to Oldham. We just needed 1 point for the win.
I mean, it's always nice to see Mansfield getting battered anyway, so.
But yeah, we just needed 1 point for the win. So the last game of the season, there was no pressure on us, but we still went out 5-2 winners. Mansfield and Swindon was really battling it out at the top with me when we looked at it halfway through, and then Mansfield went and lost 4 games in a row. And that's when the likes of Colchester, Bristol Rovers, and Forest Green entered their names into the hat. And you can see that Forest Green at one point they was above. I'm sure they. So you can see how tight it was.
Yeah.
They went above us and constantly sat in second for a good few weeks. See, Swindon sat at top for a good while, and that's when they. So is this in February. Yeah, so end of February. They ended up losing 3, drawing 1, and then winning 1, and then starting to work their way back up. But look at that. We had a little blip down here, but once we got up to top again, we weren't going to let that spot go.
Not bad going.
We're going to have a look at the squad and have a look at the goals. 41 goals in 48 games and 5 sub appearances. Waddell Richards has been a fantastic freebie, and unfortunately for me, he is adamant that he is leaving. Even though we've been promoted, I'm trying to offer him a contract, but he's not even interested in talking to me for another contract. He is wanted by Plymouth, Swindon, St Johnstone and Forest Green. So 2 of them is our rivals that have just coming up with us. He is transfer listed by request, and I have had to promise that he is sold if a replacement is signed.
So now you're just not signing any strikers. No one had come to me. Oh dear.
So I have got him signed until 2024. But there is a £375,000 minimum fee release clause. So unless somebody comes in with that kind of money, I'm obviously not going to want to let him go.
Based on the season that he's had as well, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Like in real life, you'd be having Championship, maybe lower Premier League teams sniffing around him and making bids, especially at that price.
I mean, who knows that they won't start coming?
Yeah, true. Obviously, season's only just ended, so.
But for freebie, for who's been on £800 a week,
yeah,
41 goals in 48 games. He's had a good 5-6 hat tricks in that time as well. If I'm not letting him go for cheap, I am gonna try and keep him. I'm going to keep trying to offer him a contract throughout the summer as well. Potentially try and keep him, but I think I'm going to struggle. But we also had Mellor contributing with 17 goals. We had McElhaney with 14 goals, and Asante, as you can see, 21 sub appearances and only 11 starts. Great player. I was just playing McElhaney a lot more. But again, 10 goals in 11 starts and 21 sub appearances. And then if you have a look at the assists, Traore with 12 assists in 30 games. Fantastic player for a left back.
Yeah.
10 assists with Ashley Hunter, 9 with Waddell Richards, and Mellor with 9 as well. So, goals wise, I'm very happy with the return, with how many goals were scored. In terms of like players, what are going to be leaving or signing or anything like that, I have offered a extension to Gcock, the keeper. He is a decent keeper. He's still only 21 years old. You can see from my keepers from the games, I didn't stick with one keeper all the way through. The other keeper that I had, I've actually kicked him into under 23s. Conor O'Malley, so he played 10 games. Not happy with him at all. I'm going to try and get rid of him, but we'll see. But I've re-signed him for another season on loan. I've also extended Andy Smith on loan, Ndaba on loan, and Wright on loan.
Okay.
But you will see that Mr. Mellor is not showing as a loan.
He's no longer blue.
He is not. Danny Mellor is officially a Salford player seeing as though his contract ended at the end of his. It was due to end. Sorry, very soon. So I snapped him up for very very cheap. If I go to the transfers, that'll be it. 140k rising to 150k for what he's done, for the talent that he is. 21 years old, 140k. He's done fantastic for me. You can say his potential value is anything up to 750k. I think if he can replicate the form that he's done, or maybe improve over the next year or two, I could probably get him into the million to 5 million range.
Be
Fingers
interesting to
crossed.
see what happens with him.
But yeah, the other players they've come in on. I've extended their loans. A couple of players that have come back. The Motore, he came back, so I played him a couple of games. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to keep him. I think his contract's due to end. I haven't bothered renewing it. A lot of the other players I have renewed for at least a year
Yeah.
or so. Players that came back, Liam Lachlan. I'm going to give him. No, I'm not giving him a chance. I don't think. He hasn't. It doesn't look that good. That's pretty much it. But uh, as you said in your video, I haven't really fully made any commitments on what I'm doing through the transfer window yet. This is
Yeah,
just
we've
saying
got a full summer to plan and bring in players and get rid of players.
yeah. So potentially I've got a transfer budget of 1.4 million. But obviously I do need to have a look at my wage budget. My wage budget is a bit too high at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But the highest player is only on 2.5 grand, and that's Ashley Hunter, Jason Lowe, Ebu Adams, Asante, and Torre. But to be honest with you, all them deserve how much they're getting paid. So I'm not really bothered about that. They're decent players. You can see that there's only Ashley Hunter that isn't signed for another contract yet. So,
Yep.
you know, they're not going to be asking for any more money. They can ask for it, but they're contracted, so I don't have to give it them.
Now, did any of your players win any awards this season? Or did you win an award this season? Obviously. And I mean of the year, not of the month.
Didn't win any of the month. So obviously Golden Boot. I know we
Yep.
don't get points for that, but I knew that you got Golden
Yeah,
Boot.
not a surprise really.
Yeah. 35 goals. The second place was Ollie Hawkins from Mansfield with 21 goals, joint with Billy Irons. Manager of the year? No. Hayden Mullins from Colchester, with a 53% win ratio. I'm not sure why he won it above me, but I've sent the boys round to his house anyway. Player of the year? Del Richards.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. He has been absolutely brilliant. And let's have a look if any of my players. So they're into Young Player of the Year
No, we
instead.
don't have a Young Player of the Year award.
Just a Player of the Month. Let's have a look, see if any of my players got in. We got Turnbull. He had a good season for me. And we got Riddell Richards in the team of the season, team of the year. So
Not bad.
all in all, I'm very happy with the season. Obviously, being promoted to League One is good, but it's going to be tough now.
Of course, this is where our saves go in different paths as well, because obviously different teams will have been promoted, relegated. We may not be in the same league in future seasons. Like, this is where it gets very, very different.
it's like I say, Riddell Richards. I could keep him on, and he might struggle to score in League One. I could let him go, and he end up scoring for fun, or whoever I bring
Yeah,
in, I'm going to struggle. So this is why I'm going to spend quite a bit of time through the summer trying to. It's been a while since I've taken the team to another league, and had to like look at my players that I'm bringing in. Working with a wage budget, I mean, you know, I'm struggling, but to be honest with you, I've got my bar. I can make adjustments there. That's no problem.
yeah, and obviously
Um,
once contracts do expire in a month's time.
exactly. Yeah. Um, play attacking football. They're pleased with that. Play entertaining football. Pleased. High tempo. Delighted. And sign players under the age of 21 for the future. They're delighted. Next season, mid-table. Obviously, that's not started yet, and my contract will expire. But I think if I'm doing well, that'll get re-signed. If not, then I've forfeited quite a few seasons if you continue. And they're wanting us to do a League One top half finish
Yep.
the season after. Is there anything else
Interesting.
that we need?
I think that is it. We just need to tally up the points and find out who wins season 1.
Okay, so join us in a second then. If you haven't already watched Tuners to go and see how he did, go and check that out now. Pause the video, open up a new tab with the link below. Go and check it out and then come back and see how the points are done. Who is winning season 1? Usually this is where we announce the winner, but it's just winning season 1. So it is the full 5 seasons that will
Yep.
mean if you've won it or not. So back in a minute.
And we're back for the points tally. Hopefully you've watched both of our videos already. We're back on both channels. If you haven't, the link to the other ones is down below. So go and watch that before we get into the point scoring to know what's happening. Obviously this is a little bit different. It's 5 years. Normally this would be the stage where we find out who wins Salford, but it's not the case. We find out who's going to win the first season, but the points are the total over the 5 seasons. So this should be interesting. We were trying to come up with a fair way of scoring because normally, obviously, if you're in a league, you get so many points for finishing in position. What happens if one of us got relegated to the National League and everyone's in the Championship?
Yeah.
Is it fair you're getting more points for finishing higher in an easier league? So what we've decided to do is we've gone on a scale. So we've gone with the National League as the basis. Got 25 points for winning the league, 20 for coming second, 19 for third, so forth, down to the bottom of the league where you get 1 point for the bottom 4 divisions. Then we've multiplied this by 2 for League 2, so 50 points win the league, 40 for second, 38 for third, so on and so forth. Times by 3 for League 1, 75 winning the league, 60 for second, 57 for third. Times by 4 for the Championship, 100 points for winning the league, 80 for second, 76 for third, and then the Premier League is times by 5. So 125 points if either one of us to win the Premier League, 100 for finishing second, 95 for coming in third, and so forth, down to 10 points bottom of the Premier League. The FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Johnson's Paint Trophy, we decided to keep the same no matter what league we're in. Just try and keep that as a basic. It doesn't matter, obviously, where we are. It's a bit easier once you get into the Premier League or Championship because you missed out the first 2 rounds in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
But you get 20 points for winning the FA Cup, 15 for runner-up, 10 for semi-final, 5 for quarter-final. We just thought we'd keep that standard across all of it. 10 points for winning the Carabao Cup, 5 points for coming runner-up, 5 points winning the Johnson's Paint Trophy or the FA Trophy if you got relegated, same as the Community Shield and the Super Cup in Europe, because we don't particularly care for any of them competitions. So
Yeah.
the only difference then is when we come to Europe, because we're starting so low down, we're getting points for reaching the group stages. So the Champions League is 30 points for winning it, 25 for runner-up, 20 points for the semi-final, 16 for the quarter-final, 15 for the quarter-final, 10 points for the last 16, and 5 points just for making the group stages.
Yeah, and this obviously it's over 5 years, so
Yeah.
none of us might get into Champions League or Europa League or anything like that.
Yeah. So
It
if we
was just
wasn't
in
to
case.
if we wasn't to qualify for any of them through the cup, the worst case is we'd have one season in Europe. Obviously, 4 years to get promoted to the Premier League and finish in a European place. Europa League, 20 points for winning it, 10 points for winning the Conference League. They scaled down as well. 3 points for reaching the group stage of the Europa League, 1 point for reaching the Conference League. We don't need to worry too much about that anyway at the moment. That'll be obviously when it comes to it. And then the awards, we've gone on a sliding scale as well. So you get points for winning the Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and Manager of the Year. Points for second and third in them as well. I did not show this on my video because I'm an idiot. I completely forgot about it. Elmo has showed it on his video.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. So 3 points for winning it, 2 points for runner-up, 1 point for third place. Same as the league. ×2 for League 2, ×3 for League 1, ×4 for the Championship, and ×5 for the Premier League. Straightforward. And then the final little point on this is the top scorer. Obviously, we go head-to-head on that. The difference gives us points. This only counts when we're in the same league, because if you end up in the Premier League and I'm in the National League, in theory, if I've got you're going to need better players to be able to score more goals than I am. I'm playing easier opposition.
And more games.
Yeah, and more games. So if we're in a different league, we're not counting the top scorer. Simple, right? All simple.
Yeah.
So now for the points for season 1. Now, this one is relatively straightforward because in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the Papa John Trophy, neither of us finished in any point scoring positions, so we get 0 points for the cup competitions. In League 2, I won League 2, giving me 50 points. How did you do in League 2? So 50 points apiece. Awards in League 2 is there was no Young Player of the Year, so we couldn't win anything for that. I did not win Manager of the Year.
I didn't win the Manager of the Year either.
Nope. And then Player of the Year. Now, all of these awards, it's just a winner. There's no second or third place in this one. Player of the Year, I did win this, and I will put a screenshot up on my side of the video as well, showing verification that, I won the Player of the Year award, and it
I think you
was...
just spent like last 20 minutes photoshopping it to show that your player won.
What do you mean? Erling Haaland clearly won Player of the Year for Salford for me. No, Alfie Kilgore did win Player of the Year for me. So yeah, I got 6 points for that. And for yourself?
Yes, I can't remember his name now, but Richards, he also won the Player of the Year in League 2 as well.
He did. So we were on 56 points each. We've only a top scorer to decide things. My top scorer was Joe Hugill on loan from Manchester United, who scored 17 goals. Yeah, yours was Mr. Richards with, was it 41 goals in total?
Rodell Richards with 41 goals.
So that gives you 24 points, 24 goals difference. So the final score of season 1 is Tuna 56, Elmo 80.
That's
So
what we
you get
need.
a...
It's a long thing. It's 5 seasons, but just like anything, the quicker you can get points, because it's going to get hard
Yep,
for both of us.
exactly. And you now have a 24 point advantage going forward.
Which I could do worse than you next season, and you could still be level on points from me or something at the end of next
Yep.
season. So that's you.
Yeah, to be fair, I could get promoted automatically. You could lose out in the playoffs. I'd only gain a couple of points over you, but then depending on the awards and the top scorer, you could then potentially pull further away on top scorer. And if I go up, I then can't claw top scorer points back because we're in a different league. So that's what makes this so interesting. When you're in the same league, we've got to get them points in, and it's advantage Omo after season 1.
Yeah, we're both in the same league next season, so definitely going to be putting the focus on scoring more goals again.
Yep, definitely. And I say, I'm assuming once you've got to this point, you've watched both of our videos. If not, you really should have done. Potentially, you could be losing your top scorer. Potentially.
Yeah, so he's still got a contract until next season, end of next season. but he's wanting to leave. After discussions, the only way that I could get him to be happy and not like, because obviously you need your player to be happy because you need him to keep
Yeah,
playing for
because
you.
I mean, if you haven't played Football Manager, you're just watching these, you won't know how much of a big thing dynamics actually is. If you have played Football Manager, you know how quickly form can turn when players get unhappy.
So he wanted to leave. He was unhappy that I didn't let him leave in this January transfer window. And this is a player that I signed for free. Um, Halfway through the season, I knew that he was very, very good. I really needed him. Very important to Salford, and I made a promise that I would sell him, and I didn't sell him in the January transfer window, and I managed to not make him unhappy, basically by promising that I'll sell him in the January transfer window if I sign another striker to replace him. He's currently got a year on his contract and he's got a buyout clause of 345k. So I'm not letting him go for anything less than that. With the amount of goals he's scored, hopefully someone comes in with that kind of money, or I can try and offer him a contract. I'm offering him a contract. He's not even willing to even discuss anything at the moment. He's just adamant he's wanting to leave, even though we've been promoted. So we'll see. That's a tough one.
Yeah, interesting to see what happens there. Whereas my top scorer was actually on loan, Joe Hugo, but I have got him back for another season. The one
But
thing that could,
your other top goal scorer got
yeah,
injured.
he did, Ian Henderson. I was going to touch on that as well. One potential issue for me is my front four, because actually I play with three behind the striker. The average age of my front four is 31 years old, and that's including an 18-year-old Joe Hugill.
And that's not what the club's vision is. Having
No,
old players like that.
no. Um, they want to
And
sign
as you
players
as
under
you
the age of
talk
21.
about as you talk about dynamics, the club's board, if you start going against their visions as well, that puts you in a worse stead and potentially get you sacked.
It certainly
So
does. And one other interesting thing about this is both of our contracts expire at the end of this next season. There
yes.
is no guarantees we will be offered a new contract.
So how we're doing it is, say like I get sacked or I don't get my contract renewed, but Tuna does for another season. Obviously, he's getting points for a season that I'm not even competing in. There's
Yeah,
no me re-signing, going in the editor or signing for another club. It's Salford and Salford only. So if one of us gets sacked, the contract expires and doesn't get renewed or anything like that, then that's it. We've just lost the potential to get any points.
yeah. And in that case, you want to just play on for either the 5 years or to whenever they get lost out. And lost out, sacked, or contract
Yeah,
ended.
yeah.
I knew what I meant. Lost out. that works. It's a new phrase in football, don't you know it? It's, all the kids are saying it. Um, because let's say it's not just this one save. Every single one of these Battle of the Bosses saves that we're doing, each one of these teams, we're keeping an overall tally of the total points as well. So this style, these 5 years, because obviously we're going to do it with different clubs as well going forward. This has the opportunity to potentially just win the entire thing straight out.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely huge, and
It's a
it's
good test
it's
for us as well because
yeah,
it's a completely different style of how we do it. We're not just doing it over one season where we don't care about the youth, we don't care about how much money we're spending or how much debt we put in the club, who we get rid of, and everything like that. There's a lot more to think about. So we're doing it completely different across these, but we're also doing our one season battles as well.
yep. And it's not out on the channels yet, but obviously if you've seen Borussia Mönchengladbach, you know that Juventus is going to be our next team. So the Juventus save will be out before season 2 of Salford. So the next Battle of Bosses releases on our channels, on both our channels, will be Juventus. Then we'll be back for season 2, and then it'll be whatever team comes out for Juventus. Season 3, next team, season 4, next team, season 5. So yeah, you don't want to miss it, and you certainly want to be here for it. So subscribe to both channels right now. Subscribe so you don't have to miss a single episode of Battle of the Bosses, because this is unique. I don't know any other content creators that are doing this style of save or this sort of challenge. And I mean, I'm sure you're going to be fine with it. If I put this out there, if any other content creator does want to take part in one of these as well, I'm sure we can have a freeway save. I'll clarify that right now.
I mean, I was fine with you putting it out there until you worded it like that. But yeah,
yeah.
if any other Football Manager content creator, ideally YouTube, because this is where we're putting the videos. We are looking to do some Twitch saves, but if you are a content creator on YouTube that is wanting to have a battle as well, then I'm sure we can fit one in.
Yes, definitely. But while you're here, like these videos as well.
Go and check out both our channels. Go and check out all our links below as well. Follow us on Twitter, because then you'll see all the content what we're putting out, and reach out to us as well. We've all got multiple channels, and we've also got our Twitch channels as well.
Any final words from you?
I'm coming back, baby.
I mean, you're already winning, so
I'm coming back in the battle of the bosses.
Fair enough, and I'm looking forward to seeing what both of us do in League One next season. It's going to be interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I've been dressing like an E-boy, long sleeve stripe me boy, black shirt overseas boy, it's all a decoy. I wanna look so fine and you double tap twice and you always swipe right like an E-boy, long sleeve stripe me boy, black shirt overseas boy, it's all a decoy. I wanna look so fine and you double tap twice and you always swipe right. See me looking sleepy with a beanie in the town, walking like a zombie, shambling around, always looking down cause I'm sad and they say I look depressed when I'm really like asleep from waiting on a text from an E-girl that I met once with. Never hit it up but she said